YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. Got a replay that was sent in to me. This time it's going to be Lizardmen. We've got a couple of Stegodons, main line of Saurus, Kroq-Gar, of course, and a pretty fair number of Skink Skirmishers. They're going to be facing up against the Dark Elves. Wow, what a Dark Elf force. Check this out. Blackguard, Black Arc, Harganeth Executioners, Blackguard, Black Arcs, Dread Spears, Witch Elves in the back line, Malekith on his cold one. Nice skirmishing here by the Chameleon Skinks, getting some pretty serious work done. Now the Lizardmen infantry here is going to be heavily outmatched because of all the Blackguard and Harganeth Executioners, so there's going to have to be really good use of the Skink Priest. So let's see what's going on. Already a Doom Flock up here. That's going to be coming from the Skink Priest Lore of Beast. Not a typical pick that you're going to see. All these Chameleon Skinks getting chased off here by just Dread Spears. That's a good trade right now for the Dark Elf player. Stegodon's already rampaging. And then you can see Kroq-Gar trying to hunt down Malekith, but the Witch Elves being brought in here quite crafty. Try and get these guys to go crazy so that Kroq-Gar might get stuck and be murdered by Dark Shards. But Stegodons definitely get some damage done. These guys do massive damage to infantry. Saurus Warriors doing a good job, especially considering what they're up against. Saurus Warriors just great units overall. You can see Kroq-Gar trying to stay away from the Witch Elves, but the Witch Elves catch up. And they're going to be trying to cause Kroq-Gar to rampage. And if they do, it could be dangerous because there's Dark Shards positioned quite nicely right now. So Kroq-Gar does appear to be trying to get away and doesn't want to rampage. Instead, the Feral Stegodon rampages into the Dark Shards. Some of the Saurus Warriors starting to give way to the Harganeth Executioners. And now Kroq-Gar, the Priest, and the Stegodons all rampaging at the hands of the Witch Elves. So this puts the Dark Elves in a better position as long as they don't rampage into the Dark Shards. Those Dark Shards causing massive damage, but there is that rampage. Malekith takes a shotgun to the face from Kroq-Gar, so to speak. And this is not where Malekith wants to be in life right now. Getting hit by Kroq-Gar is definitely not ideal. Some of the units that were going crazy came back under control, but still a fair number of units. The nice thing about Lizardmen units that go out of control is they just attack like crazy. You can see the different Skink Skirmishers split up, keeping the Dread Spears busy. Some of these could be brought back into the battle, so a little bit of miss micro here, but here they come. They're coming back now. And those Skink Skirmishers could be clutch, because this is honestly looking like a pretty close fight right now. Ooh, these Dark Shards. Dark Shards are just murderously effective versus large armored units. If you can keep them alive, they are very, very good. This Feral Stegodon's getting good damage, and over here he's going to get into the Dark Shards, so good use of the Stegodon. But there's Blackguard chasing there as well. Malekith chasing down... Yeah, chasing down Kroq-Gar because there was Blackguard on the way to help. So I can see why Malekith might want to temporarily take this fight. And those Dark Shards, they are getting some work done. Malekith gets away with relatively little damage, and Kroq-Gar is going to go deal with the Dark Shards. Here you see where the Witch Elves, how they become handy. If they can keep the monsters busy, the Dark Shards can sit back and do their work. So well played here by the Dark Elf player. You can see that the main line of infantry and one of the Stegodons is pretty well wrapping up. There's still a few Saurus Warriors over here, but these Skink Skirmishers come back at a very opportune moment, and there's good targets over here, like these Harganeth Executioners, who will be poisoned. That takes away a lot of their melee, or their weapon damage, which is pretty important. Skink Priest does come back. Kroq-Gar continues to go completely berserk, even tail whipping his Dark Elf enemies there. Stegodon still going to town, but these Blackguard still trying to get some work done here. Kroq-Gar will want to avoid them if at all possible. And these Dark Shards are definitely going to be a danger here. They've got Kroq-Gar in their sights, but Kroq-Gar kind of moves to the edge of rain and continues his jumping attacks. Malekith's still very much alive. These Skink Skirmishers, though, Malekith might want to watch out for them. There's still a fair amount of ammo on some of these too, and Skink Skirmishers are decent in melee once they let their ammo out. They'll be good against stuff like Dread Spears, not so much against Harganeth Executioners. Another shotgun from Kroq-Gar hits, and oh my goodness, is it devastating. You got to watch out for that Hand of the Gods ability. It is brutal. If it gets a good hit, it is just absolutely brutal. And Kroq-Gar goes in for the kill, looking to put Malekith out of his misery. Somehow Malekith survives all these hits. Very lucky for the Dark Elves. Yeah, very lucky here for the Dark Elves that he doesn't get killed, because it would have added an extra penalty to morale right now, so that is extremely fortunate for the Dark Elves. Kroq-Gar couldn't chase him, though, because there's more Dark Shards that are loose firing at him. He's going to get into them quickly. There's still Blackguard left that are going to be difficult to deal with, but the Chameleon Skinks coming back in. Malekith is being chased by the Skink Priest, so a good move here on the part of the Lizardmen. Let's see what happens, what becomes of that. Look at this, these Dark Shards back from routing again. Kroq-Gar really is going to have to be careful here. He's down to about 1,000 hit points. This is going to be a squeaker of a game, because you got 2 Blackguard units, albeit pretty beat up, and several Dark Shard units that have a fair amount of ammo. And this is going to be dangerous indeed. The Chameleon Skinks are going to have to try and get to the Dark Shards. And Kroq-Gar is going to have to remain at a safe distance, just for safety's sake. Skink Priest manages to catch up with Malekith, and he is indeed going to be chased all the way off the battlefield. So Malekith is out, and that Skink Priest could come back. One of the Blackguards routes, and that is actually finally going to swing it in favor of the Lizardmen. So the Chameleon Skinks, which went somewhat unused at the beginning as they got chased off by Dread Spears, came back, were able to help deal with the Hargoneth Executioners, who were so busy owning all the Saurus infantry. And Kroq-Gar with a narrow escape there in the hands of the god. That was a great game on the part of both players. I liked the army from the Dark Elves in the way that it would force the Lizardmen units to rampage with the Witch Elves and then hunt them down with the Dark Shards. It was really played very well. So that was Slade X and Ninja Hun, 2 good players there, putting together a very close battle. And again, those Hargoneth Executioners, they were much less damaged than that. Those guys were just absolutely owning the Lizardmen infantry until those Chameleon Skinks came back and started shooting them in the back with the poison darts. And you got to give credit here to the Chameleon Skinks. They ended up being very important units in the fight. Now, Stegodons got work done. They did enough damage to some of these infantry units that they were able to be knocked out. And you can see Saurus Warriors they're more than a match for Blackheart Corsairs. More than a match. Blackheart Corsairs typically do good against stuff against no armor. Well, the Saurus Warriors have like 60 armor, and the Blackheart Corsairs just really don't do all that great. But Hargoneth Executioners, on the other hand, those guys are just brutal. Like, even the best of infantry kind of has to keep an eye out for them. They are extremely good infantry, and really only kind of matched by Swordmasters of Hoeth. And really, the Swordmasters only match the Hargoneth Executioners because of the Martial Prowess ability, which gives the High Elves some buffs while they're over 50% health. Because in prolonged melee, Hargoneth Executioners are honestly probably some of the most deadly infantry in the game. Maybe not the most, but some of the most. So, really cool match. Appreciate Ninja Hun sending that in. It was a good match between him and his opponent. Could have gone either way at different points of that battle. If you all don't know, Ninja Hun has a stream where he shows Total War Warhammer 2 videos. I've actually been subscribed to his Twitch channel for over a year myself. I like watching his videos. He gives me a lot of ideas for multiplayer, and he's great at teaching you about multiplayer if you're new. He even has a guide that he's written, a very comprehensive guide, I might add. It talks about all the lores of magic and stuff. Really cool stuff. If you want to check it out, you can go check it out. His style is a lot different than mine, but like I said, I've always enjoyed the work he's done, and I'm glad that his stream is doing well. Anyway, appreciate you all watching. Appreciate MSI sponsoring the channel. I do hope to see you all soon. HeirofCarthage signing out for now.